You just ordered a brand new BBO poker table, a $3,000 beauty, sleek, solid, custom built for bid games. It finally arrives. Now, when you ordered it, you knew it had to be assembled. But it's just a table, right? A few legs, a top, maybe some screws? You open the box, and suddenly it's more parts than a Lego set. Armrests, cup holders, bolts, washers, legs, brackets, fasteners. You've got a 20-page manual, 3 types of tools, and a sinking feeling in your gut. But you've got instructions. And those instructions? They assume there's one right way to build this thing, but there never is. Truth is, there are dozens of ways to assemble the table and still achieve the same, or even better, outcome. If you chose a path different than that provided by the instructions, the hard and fast rules of assembly would then give way to a mental set of tools that would be used to assemble the table. You would then be sculpting the table, much as we will address using mental tools in poker and disregarding the static rules along the way as we sculpt our poker strategy. Hi, I'm Terry Witt from PokerRailbird.com. A lot of players approach poker like they're following a cheap IKEA manual. The rule says, always raise 3 times the big blind preflop. But what if 3 times isn't working? What if they all call anyway? What did you gain? No information, you didn't bin the field, and you didn't take the lead. So, what now? We'll get to that. Never limp preflop. Why not? If I'm in wait position with pocket deuces and it's limped to me, why on earth would I raise, opening the betting back up to the entire table, and risk getting raised off my pocket care? Not to mention, why in the world would I raise deuces anyway? Why would I not take a cheap flop and maybe hit a set? Always continuation bet. Seriously? So I've got ace-king offsuit and I raise pre-flop. We go 5 ways to the flop, and it comes 9, 6, 7 with 2 hearts, and I should continuation bet? Sure, 2 of the 5 callers will most likely fold, but Winnegop that call. Do I fire another barrel on the turn? Is his ace-king likely good here? No, of course not. Defend your big blind. Exactly what is it I am defending? Those chips sitting out there, they aren't mine. They now belong to the pot, not me. When there's a raise, which there almost always is pre-flop, are you going to throw in some more chips with your queen 3 offsuit so you can defend your big blind chips, which aren't yours anyway, and be first to act the rest of the hand? Is it a good strategy? Always do this, never do that. But who wrote those rules? And why have the very same rules been repeatedly published in dozens of books, all written by different people? Are these rules really that profound? Has anyone questioned them? Not that I've seen. It's our contention that poker isn't comprised of rules, with the exception of the rules that maintain the structure of poker. Other than that, we maintain that poker is a situational game and that it's impossible to establish any static rule that will be applicable in every situation. For that, we need tools, not rules. That's how you sculpt your poker strategy, by understanding and utilizing tools, as they are flexible and can be used to varying degrees, depending upon the situation. And the more adept you are at using the tools you have, the better table you can build. In this video series, The Sum of Poker, Sculpting the Game, we're not building a static poker strategy. Rather, we're sculpting one that is dynamic, flexible, constantly evolving, and will serve us for a lifetime. In this video series, The Sum of Poker, Sculpting the Game, we'll be discussing the knot of poker, odds, equity, and decision frameworks, the psychology of the player, tilt, ego, fear, discipline. Poker tells and human behavior, what people show without knowing. Patience and discipline, waiting is a weapon. Strategy and game flow, adapting moment to moment. Player profiles, tags, lags, maniacs, and calling stations. Decision trees and root knowledge, why the right move is rarely random. Table image and manipulation, how they see you, and why it matters. Mental endurance, playing great poker over hours, not hands. The philosophy of the game, why poker mirrors life itself. Each of these is a part of the structure, a bracket, a bolt, a support beam. Without them, the table levels. The game breaks down. Poker is part science, part art. The math is science, you can't change it. The tells, the psychology, the flow of the game, that's both art and science. That's where strategy lives. Strategy is sculpted, interwoven, carefully crafted by situation. But strategy doesn't come from a rule book. It comes from learning the parts, utilizing the tools, and knowing when and how to use each one. Our first video in the series, The Knot of Poker, Odds, Equity, and Decision Frameworks, is now live. This is the first episode in our new weekly series, The Sum of Poker, Sculpting the Game. Each week, we'll release a new episode exploring one of the essential components that make up a complete, adaptable poker strategy. I hope you'll follow along, and more importantly, I hope the series gives you the tools to think deeper, play smarter, and sharpen your edge at the table. Let's get to work.